black.
Half of your tooth fell out recently.
Oh,
Due to neglect.
Well, I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you. Ooh. Hot streak in Vegas, and I'm like, life is good. Money is good. Falling from the ceiling, winning at gambling. And then I'm like, this bagel tastes extra sandy.
Ooh, give me a chill.
And then my tooth split in half. There was no tooth there.
I personally was annoyed by this because I have told you to go to the dentist for the past 2 years.
And?
You did not.
Yeah, so my dentist is
and every day you're over there flossing and being gross with your floss and like putting all your fingers in your mouth, nasty ass. Also, you drag your fingers all over the city, so then it's even grosser because then you're like putting your fingers into like what I can only imagine are holes, existing holes in the side of your mouth, and then you're like, half my tooth fell out. I'm like, no kidding, because you didn't go to the dentist.
Can I tell you about the genealogy of my dentist and how we got here? I had a beautiful, wonderful dentist with beautiful white straight teeth who was all about the
aesthetics,
the cosmetology of it all.
Right. Not about actual dental care.
She was this big. She was tiny. She's like, why don't we just fix your teeth and make them really bright and white? And I was like, okay, how much is that? She's like, $4,000. And I go, well, how much can I get for $500? And she's like, we can do half the trace. And we did Invisalign and whatever. So she retired, and I got this other dentist who was a real dumbass. And that's where I got the gap in my tooth that I have to floss every time I eat.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, again, just you need to go to an actual dentist.
Yep.
An actual dentist.
I have one now. He's great.
Right, that I got for you 2 years ago when actually a very similar thing happened.
So that guy, when I saw him, was like, ooh, we haven't seen you since 2023. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah, in this most recent, like, outside bones are falling out of your head. And you're like, just like, it's fine.
Well, this is a classic case of when you ask for more information and the doctor, like, insults you, basically. I'm like...
It's never happened to me.
Well, my feet have been called deformed. Okay. And then I go...
But did you ask for more information about that, or you just accepted your deformity?
No, I go like, why does my foot hurt? And they're like, well, it's due to the deformities. And you're like, excuse me? And they're like, the obvious deformities in your phalanges or whatever they're called.
Yes, they are called phalanges.
So I go, well, why does food always get stuck in this back tooth? Like,
and they're like, because you're half squirrel.
She's like, can you fix it? And they go, well, it's because you have a, like, she called it like a monster crossbite. Because your lower jaw is so much bigger than your upper jaw. I don't know if I can do any
more dental talk.
Teeth are so gross.
I did just come up with a good screenplay idea, though, sort of similar to, Amy Adams in Night Bitch, how she's a mom and she turns into a dog.
No, but okay.
Well, this will be a horror film about you turning into a squirrel. And you're like leaving our apartment at night, going to Central Park, like just shoving your face full of acorns. And you come in and you're like all dirty and you smell like garbage. And I'm like, what happened?
This is a lot like one of my famous bits, Squirrels versus Rats.
No, it's actually just a lot like the Amy Adams movie.
Oh.
/ book.
Book. But anyway, my dentist now, love him. He's like a nice Gru.
Sure. Now, if I could just ask on behalf of the audience, yes, that was for your benefit.
Thank you. I know.
Walk me through the decision making of this of this outfit.
It's a normal outfit. It's a hoodie.
A hoodie that you found in the trash.
Parents got this for me 7 years ago.
More than.
It's actually the most versatile.
No, it's not.
It is the most. You can wear it to a wedding. You can wear it to a funeral. You can wear it to a job interview.
It's literally like
rebounder. The job.
It's just like talk me through. You're just optimizing for comfort all the way.
I had to go
It's not even warm. It's like freezing outside.
The name of this episode is going to be like Noah's medical problems, because I had to go to my physical therapist to get my hip, shoulder, back, and
head, shoulders,
and foot worked on today.
Ew.
So I
make him touch your foot?
Yeah, he's one of these like your neck screwed up because your pinky toe isn't firing, so you need to like pick up marbles with your toe.
Your pinky toe isn't firing?
My pinky toe is not, and my glutes barely fire these
On my
days.
way down here, I had to help an MTA employee find Herald Square. Already concerning, and he was like, anyway, are you wearing Hokas? And I was like, God, I do.
You?
Yes, but I'm like, I don't want to have a sneaker conversation with like a stranger on the subway. Like, he's like, well, I used to wear this. And I'm like,
on you?
no, I think he was just bored. Like the train was running late. But I was like, first of all, you work for the train. How do you not know where Penn Station is?
Yeah.
Like, that's concerning.
Herald Square, the worst place on earth.
Yeah, I was like, good luck. And then he was like, we're just talking about like nonsense that you talk about like with no one. You talk about it with a sales shoesman, shoes salesman.
Sales shoesman, yes.
And also a sales shoesman. Very elite sales shoesman. Are you a sales shoesman?
No.
No. Anyway, he was like, are those the, like, a specific type of Hoka? And I was like, I have no idea. I bought them on the internet.
I bought Hokas one time, and I put an Instagram story on them. And Scotty was like, my 70-year-old mother wears these. You can't wear these. And they were real extra bouncy. You're bouncing all over the earth like moon shoes.
Yeah.
A very old lady of you.
No, mine are like they don't look, that's why he was asking, because they don't look like Hokas. They look like, remember the old Nikes that were like really lightweight? Mm-hmm. That's what they look like. But they're supposed to be more comfortable. I feel like my feet are so messed up that at this point, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, sometimes I just like, accept the foot pain and move on with my life.
You are like Kevin McHale in 1990 with your foot pain.
Kevin McHale and I have so much in common.
You kind of do.
I know.
Good personalities, both of you.
Of course.
Very personable.
Very personable. Everyone likes us.
I was watching the...
Good at basketball.
I was watching the Celtics, Bill Simmons thing that he made, that now, like, this story has been, like, beat into the ground. We've got it from every angle, every interview. Like, we got it. It's still kind of good. But they were saying that, like, McHale played with a broken foot, and then Bird would play a game, and then he'd go to the hospital, and he would sleep in traction. But the traction was like, it was like the 80s. They were like, we just basically hang weights off your waist and, like, pull your spine apart.
Ugh.
Yuck.
Did he have spine surgery?
Yeah, eventually he had back surgery, yeah.
Ugh.
Well, my guy today was saying that there's a lot of surgeries I don't do anymore, and he did fix my neck, so I don't have to get neck surgery. He said I don't need Kybella.
But
that,
anything else he said?
He said, that's my finger. And I said, ow.
So this outfit, just to go back to my original question, this outfit was planned for your chiropractor.
Oh, would you come from Bike Week in Myrtle Beach over here? Come on.
Well, I knew I was going to be on camera. At least I like put on a top.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm trying to do my new broadcasting reel.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to find 20 seconds where I go like this. Look in the camera. Look at my partner. Look back in the camera. Say something smart or interesting.
It's never
and not
happened.
look like an idiot. I can't. I either go, it is good to be here. I have one of the all-time it is good to be here moments.
Do you say that actually?
I literally...
You actually just like look at the camera, it's so sincere, and you're like, it is good to be
Listen to what
here.
I say. Okay, you'll be Mike Corey.
Okay.
I'm wearing my stupid Christmas suit. It's like the 27th of December.
Okay.
And you set me up by being like, oh man, you really dressed for the occasion.
Yeah. You, Noah, you look very festive.
And I go, well, it's best week of the year between Christmas, Hanukkah, all the parties, New Year's coming up. I'm just
all the parties.
Talking about the calendar, the 27th, then you got the 28th.
You know what you
29th
would be
coming up.
You know, like you would be really good at
being a dumbass weatherman.
No, just like being like a doorman, right? Like, because it's the only thing, like especially in my office, the only thing I ever say, that the door guys are so nice, and I'm always like we can't escape it. It's like a trap, right? You're like,
weather.
Sure wish it was warmer, and then they're like, at least it's Friday, and you're like, oh my god, like what, like. But they're not gonna be like, anyway, my wife left me. Like, it's like, that's too much. Well, what are you gonna get for lunch today? They're like, I don't eat lunch because I work the night shift, you stupid bitch. And I'm like, all right, well. Anyway, it is raining.
Well, this is my theory that I've passed on to John Anderson, which is that it really is about weather. Weather is 80% of happiness is weather. This is your weather.
This is like your theory. That's what's the Jim Carrey movie where he doesn't know it's a set?
The Truman Show.
Yeah, like this is like your Truman Show. Like everything is a conspiracy. Like, what if it really was about the hokey pokey? Like, what if that was all? Like, it was all about the hokey pokey?
But it is. It really is about weather.
In your brain, I do believe that.
Once in high school, my friend goes, nobody's more obsessed with taking advantage of good weather than you are. Because he wanted to do something else.
That's verbatim what he said.
That's what he said. Because I go, no, we're playing wiffle ball. Like, you want to do something else.
That's what it says in your, like...
That's good quality.
No one's better at taking advantage of better weather than you. Another catchy tagline.
No one makes a quesadilla. It's so boring.
No one understands that it's 66 degrees and sunny like you.
Wait, I have another hot take, by the way. Speaking of...
No one understands.
I have a hot take, which will lead me into your bizarre behavior the other night.
Bizarre.
So people always bitch that beers and drinks and sodas...
Beers and drinks and...
at sporting events are so expensive.
Okay.
Right? They're like, yeah, what is this, Yankee Stadium over here? Blah,
this
blah,
is
blah.
your Subway hot take?
This is my Subway hot take. Maybe if we had a good idea, we'd be famous.
Sure.
So you get the giant beers. Went to the Knicks game the other day. Shout out to me. You get the giant oil tanker beer.
Sorry, I haven't slept in like 2 months.
Nobody can sleep these days. We'll get to that next. That'll be next on the docket.
Okay.
We should get a rundown. Graphics.
We should do something where we have a list of topics, but we only have a certain amount of time.
You know what we are? You know what this podcast is?
PTI.
Right. We should do PTI, but with a woman.
You be black.
We're like in Step Brothers. We're like, we need a company. What's the first thing you do? We need chairs. We need a table. We're like, what's the podcast about? We're like, we have cameras.
At least once a week, I text Megan Burke and go, prestige worldwide. I'm like, it's like when people are like, even at work, like sitting there like, so do you have any ideas about this thing? I'm like, prestige worldwide. Like, what is it? It's like, it's a big idea. Mm-hmm. You got to start big, but then you also have to get like sodas first. Like sodas and chairs. And then the rest of it will come to you.
Word for word, a very high up in my company for my day J goes, you got to have a good Q1. Without Q1,
please,
you're not going to have a
please
Q2
don't
or Q3
drag
or
me
Q4.
into the druthers of Qs. I can't live my... Someone asked the other day, like, wow, we're closing out Q1. I was like, no! Like, I'm like, we're in Q2. When Q3 starts, I'll never know.
Yeah. Well,
also, I hate that some companies are like, well, that's not exactly our Q4. I'm like, you have a different Q4?
It's the worst.
Well, why are we not? It's like we're not even operating off the same.
They're like, we're paid on trimesters.
Quarters?
Why?
It's annoying. You're paid on trimesters. You get a paycheck. You get a paycheck according to the lunar New Year.
Yeah. So you get these giant beers at Madison Square Garden.
Giant. They're tall boys.
They're bigger than they're 24 ounces.
Oh.
So you're talking about
What's a regular tall boy? 16?
Yeah.
What's a regular beer?
So
12?
This is related. Also, what's the FL stand for? FLOZ? I don't know. Flossin Aussie. I don't know.
Fluid.
So you're getting a double beer because I did look it up that a beer is 12 ounces. Okay.
Yeah. I did know a beer is 12 ounces.
So it's a $22 beer for, divided by 2. It's $11. It's not that bad.
You
get more of it.
You're just stuck in the New York City rut of it all. Like, we think that like a $9 glass of wine at happy hour is a deal, and we're like living this bizarro life where you go, like, it's literally, I know you haven't watched it yet with me, but it's literally Lucille Bluth. It's like, what could it cost, Michael? Like, we're just so, like, I took a cab the other day, which I hadn't done in a long time, and it was like, I don't know, maybe 20 blocks, like 25 blocks. We flew right down, like no problems. Mm-hmm. It was like $40. I was like, that can't be, that's not anything. That's just a made up number. The second you get into a cab now, I remember my dad used to complain about this, how you used to get into a cab and it was already, $3 or something, like already, but you haven't even gone anywhere yet. And so his whole point was like, it makes no sense, right? Like, you could walk faster for that $3. You could walk there faster. Yeah. And of course, you take a cab when it's like bad weather or something, or the train's not running. So like, then everyone's doing that, and then you're losing even more money. Now, if you get into a yellow cab and you haven't even moved yet, it's $9.
Right.
You're still next to your home, and it's already $9. You haven't moved. So it's like, when I go to the garden and they're like, and I order like 2 double vodka sodas, like in general, and they're like, that'll be $47. I'm like, that's appropriate.
Yeah.
And then they go, and would you like to tip today? And you go, of course, because I'm not going to not tip the bartender.
Well, the tickets will talk you right out of it because you're going to be in the building is $200 each. So then you go, well, why the hell would I pay $200 to sit in a shit seat?
They are very small.
So then you're like, oh, well, the physical seat, then I sit in the goddamn seat and I don't actually fit.
Right.
Luckily, my beautiful wife found me an aisle seat, which was lovely.
Right.
But while the game was going on, you're hitting me with Natalie Holloway. You're hitting me with Lady Fell in a Lake.
Oh, I'm
You're going.
sorry.
You're going.
Sorry
Us Weekly Review.
I'm sorry to hit
People
you with
Magazine editor right here.
interesting stories. Like, sorry to keep you connected to pop culture. Like,
You're like,
honest
well,
to
a raccoon
God.
got stuck in their microwave. You're like, I'm like, what are
I
you talking
surely
about?
did not say that.
There was something about a lady in some body of water.
Well, I'm glad
She's
you were paying
dead.
attention.
I tried, but then the quarter ended. I had a lovely time with you, though. I really
did too.
did. I had an enjoyable time. Next, we're being haunted. Wait, that felt like a promo.
It did.
Next, we're being haunted.
We're not being haunted as much as we're being terrorized from the inside out.
Yeah, our beautiful son. We're lucky.
He's wonderful.
Wonderful. Blah,
However,
blah, blah.
he won't go to sleep. He won't go to sleep, and he also won't stay asleep. And so, honestly, even just one of those at this point, I would take.
Yeah, like even if we got through the hard part, just stay in there.
Like, okay, so I do bedtime from like 7 to 10:30 at night. Okay, that means I haven't had dinner, I haven't brushed my teeth, I haven't even like looked at my email to see like what could possibly be happening the next day, or like, you know, confirm that you're going to do this, or like whatever, right? Or like hear what's going on with my mom. Like none of that can happen because it's like screens down because you're trying to get him to calm down, to like focus up, rest mode activated, right? So that takes approximately 4 hours. Then maybe if I get lucky, I can basically trick him into staying in his bed long enough so that he falls asleep just by accident. Like,
and you're laying next to his bed holding his hand
That's
because
right.
you were out the other night and I attempted this and I was like,
sucks.
how is she doing this? Like a side bridge? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm basically like planking. And then sometimes I do like these like meditative chants because I'm like, I'm trying to like spin the whole thing back in my head to be like only about gratitude. Like I am so lucky that I'm in a position to be able to like take care of my kid like
That's
this.
good. I like that.
It's not working. I feel insane. Then last night at like 10:20, I'm like, he's got to be asleep. Also, now he hasn't slept in days. So I'm like, he has to be so tired. Like, this is crazy. So then I'm like, I do this, you know, I do the Mission Impossible. Like, I roll and then I get up on all fours, but like the Grinch, like on my tippy toes. And I'm like, and then we have like a very old creaky apartment. So I'm like doing the like of the door.
Yeah, the
and then
floor
I'm like,
with me is brutal.
and then I'm like Alex Macking like liquid out the door. And Henry literally was like, Mommy. And I'm like, how? Like some imperceptible like whiff of my essence. Like it was crazy.
He's like the Predator. He like sees your heat footprint.
Right.
He's like,
Totally. And so then, okay, fine. Okay, so now I get back on the floor, we do it again, and like my big thing is like, he really needs to learn that this is his bed and he has to stay in his bed. Like I really do believe in that. Also, like I really need to sleep. So like the solution of like bringing him in our room or whatever, I go, to me, that's not a long-term
he
solution.
doesn't. Also, we've tried. We're like, fine, we give up. And then he sits up in bed and goes, I have a story to tell. And we're like, stop, no stories. And he goes,
Once upon a time.
once upon a time, there was a bubble bus in the cloud. Da-da. And he tells this whole thing. And then he does it again and again. And you're like, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I yelled in his face the other day because I had nothing else. I tried your moves. He comes out. I go, I got to be scary as soon as I want to come out here. And I go, get in your bed.
I told you when you told me that you were being like bad cop. I told you that the other night. I was like, I go, Henry, if you get out one more time, I'm getting Dad. He's like, wee, Dad. He was like, he thought that I was like inviting someone else to the party. Like he was like so not threatened. And so then, whatever. So then you do this for 4 hours, and I understand like whatever. There's like methodologies to look into, but I don't care. Also, at this point, I'm so tired. I don't care. I don't want anyone's advice. I just want to be left alone. then, like, okay, it's 10:30. I pass out basically. Like I set my alarm and I go to sleep. And at 1 o'clock in the morning, he's back in. How? Like, I don't understand.
And he comes to the side of your bed
and he goes, "Are you okay?"
He goes, "Are you okay?" Or he goes, "Mommy?" And you're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I need something."
Yeah.
He doesn't even have an idea. He says, "I need something."
I know.
What do you need?
I was like, hit me with an idea. Also, because this is something I don't do, which I've seen other parents do. And I see, like, the impulse to do it, but I'm like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not listing options. If you specifically come to me and you go, I have to pee, I need a water, I would believe, right, that, like, you do need a water. Okay, fine. I don't leave the water in his room because he's going to, like, throw it at his sister or whatever. So then, if you just come to the side of my bed, bleary-eyed at 2:30 in the morning, whatever, and you go, I need something, I'm like, I need something too. It's called drugs. It's called a hotel room where I can sleep by myself. Like,
well, I can make that happen for you. I have points, but
I also like even that like doesn't even sound that appealing because it feels like, I mean, I guess it's always good to get like a good night's sleep, but it's like I haven't like the problem won't be solved. And when I talk to like real ones, not like the people who are like, you should try a sleep consultant. And you're like, I know that's not real. I'm like, all it is time. Like all the like most experienced parents I've talked to are like, it just takes time and like eventually they do figure it out. Yeah. And it's like a total battle of the wills. And if you just keep putting them back in their bed and insisting that they go sleep in their own bed, at some point developmentally they're going to go, oh, I'll sleep in my bed tonight. And you go, yes, do that.
Sucks. And
it does suck.
I'll tell you why. I had this theory while you were speaking. But I don't know if this is going to make any sense, but the reason
you rarely do.
Well, and also I'm just getting so boring. God, I've gotten boring. But here's why. Because when you're running a marathon, okay, and you're on mile 17, and you're like, if someone came up and was like, what's happening? You're like, huh? Like all that's going on is you're trying to not stop running, right?
Sure.
So when you're a parent and we see our friends that we like, and we're like, the playground, and we're like, what's going on? And they're like, and they have nothing because it's so much energy. And then you go, great, I get to go socialize. You got nothing to talk about because you can't just go, I'm tired. And then you go,
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
That's a fucking double date when you have kids. That's what it sounds like.
Well, I just feel like, I mean, I do feel like sometimes legitimately the sleep deprivation, like, or like just like the nonsense of it all, like catches up to you and like it's random. Like you'll just have like a Wednesday afternoon where someone says something really stupid to you and you're like, I swear to God, like it's like, you didn't realize that you were like teetering off the edge, but like someone comes over with a feather and can knock you right over. Like you're like, I'm so close to plummeting, like so close. And I feel like that's not always the case. Sometimes you wake up 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night and you go, do I feel good? No. But can I make it through? Like, sure. Like I can make it through. It's just like, the problem for me is the unpredictability of when your brain, which I learned today, scientists have discovered that every single human brain has at least 6
lumps,
Coke bottle like cap size piece of plastic in it.
Shut up.
And I'm like, well, I probably have like 10, right?
Well, how much Diet Coke are you drinking?
No, not from Diet Coke, ding dong. God.
Obviously, dumbass, it was a joke.
I can't trust you.
It's look from the island.
You look like a vagabond. Also, I don't know what's happening with you.
Also, they found 100% in the testicles.
100% in the testicles.
They did a study about
not anything.
Yes, it is.
And they found 100% in the testicles. Good for you, like
Alyssa,
you freaking Neanderthal.
They did
oh my God.
Did how much plastic is in people's balls study. And they found it in 100% of men in the study had some plastic in their nuts.
Okay, I don't care about testicles.
Well, you can't feel anything
I'm talking about
there.
your brain.
Same idea. Lumpy ball that controls all of your actions. It's basically the brain of the nuts.
It doesn't control your actions?
Well, no, it does. The bigger brain over the smaller brain. That's how you get yourself in and out of hot water.
I picture your brain being sort of like shrink wrapped. Like it's sort of like a Hungry Man dinner. Like, you have to like stab it to like vent it.
That's probably accurate. you're dealing with a guy with 5 concussions here. Whenever I do something really stupid, which is once a week, I go CTE.
I know.
Something really dumb. Like at the game, I swear to God, I did this. I met this beautiful Pakistani little man who was doing stand-up, and he's visiting from Toronto. And then I turn around with the 2 beers, and I go, what is tomorrow anyway, Friday? And these 2 other guys go, ah! They start laughing because it was Tuesday night. And I was serious. I was like, I think tomorrow's Friday. What do I know?
Yeah, because you love talking about days of the week and
Move
weather.
your feet out of my way, hoka lady.
Why do you have to put your foot like this?
So my hip doesn't hurt. It's one of my ailments.
So then why are you sitting like this?
It's one of my ailments because the table can't levitate. It needs a stick.
Anyway.
Best episode ever or worse? Sound off in the kind. What else you got besides complaints about our wonderful life?
Well, since we can't watch TV,
want to talk about a novel?
No, I'm saying we watch our separate TVs in bed.
Yep.
But you watch. Do you know that the other night when I was desperately trying to get our children to go to sleep? Oh yeah, that's the other part. The worst part is when I finally think that one of them is asleep, meaning the one who can climb out. The other one goes, ah! And you're like, wrong. Like that's terrible.
Pearl rules.
She does rule, but she also she has a sixth sense for when things are happening without her, and she really needs to be included. Yeah. So then if she's not tired enough, basically, she will just like get back up. And then like there was one night where you were away, and I was just lying there like praying that he would basically knock out. And I think he was close. And then Pearl was like, and I was like, I cannot. Like, it was like, she turns into like the scat man over there. I'm like, go to sleep. I'm like, you too. You're not like exempt from this just because he's wailing around.
Well, we were at the playground the other day, and she was going up the stairs alone, down the slide alone.
Right.
And there were 4-year-olds that were like, "Mommy, I can't do it." And I was like, "She's freaking awesome. She's gonna be, she's gonna be awesome. She's gonna be okay. This one." She's like, I want to be doing what my brother says. She walked into a metal door with her face. She's 1.5 years old, and she was like, just ate it and kept going.
Yeah, but who let her walk into a metal door?
The world may never know.
Okay.
So I'm watching separate TV. What were you saying about TV?
I was going to say something about Pearl, is that when Henry wasn't feeling well, she just came up to him and was like, like as if it was like Fern Gully, like I'm gonna heal you with my touch. It was cute.
Just cute. What were you gonna say about television? We can't watch it anymore.
Okay, so whatever. I'm usually like I'm very behind on all the like prestige channels, right? And also there's some stuff that I can't watch. Like I will never watch The Pit. I heard it's great. It's never going to happen for me. I cannot watch people getting cut open, walking into the ER, like gushing blood out of their ear. I can't do it.
It's just a new ER with Noah Wiley, as I understand it. The same guy from ER.
Yes, but people said it's really good, but I'm like, I absolutely cannot watch it. Yeah. Cannot. So I'm like, well, that's off the list, right? So then I've been like catching up on things that like people sort of like mentioned to me in passing, but like I never got around to watching because who cares? But then I like look over at you and you're just watching like online poker. But I know you don't want to watch the stuff that I'm watching either.
No.
But then it's like we have
nothing in common anymore.
That's right.
It's the end for us.
That's right.
Eating.
We love eating and we love drinking.
We do love to drink, and we've had a great run with our new method of only having 3 drinks.
Yes.
We have 6 or 7, but we try to have 3.
We try.
Before, we didn't have any cap. By the way, people who listen to this pod are like, these two have real problems. They're like...
I know. Like, I'm like, everyone's like tiptoeing around like, oh, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. I don't think you understand. Like, I'm self-aware enough to understand that I exist in a pit of despair. I'm like, the fact that people like generally ignore it most of the time is actually a reflection of them, not me.
Yeah, and I think that like since I was maybe 14, 13, I've existed in a very like up adrenaline relief, up adrenaline relief, up adrenaline relief.
That's how you exist.
Yeah, because it was like the game, and then it was like relax, and then it was like we got a big party, and then now you're tired. You know, like
what?
This whole very sweaty from that pointless act out. This whole like,
That's why you wore the sweatsuit.
and then you go, let me just like sober up and live like a Mormon for a week, and then you're like, that's it.
Well, you know what really annoys me, and I'm sure we've talked about this before, but it's like when people are like, I mean, Alyssa and I talk about this all the time, but we're like, someone like loses a lot of weight, right? Even like in the pre-Ozempic era, and you'd be like, wow, like they really look good. I mean, I'm talking like they lost 40 plus pounds.
Yep.
And maybe it was someone who is not like particularly heavy, or you didn't think of them as heavy.
Yeah.
Maybe you thought about them like as around your size or whatever. And now you're seeing them and they're like thin and their face is thin and they're like wearing clothes differently and they're like.
Yeah, pants on their head, shirt on the bottom.
And it looks good.
They've got a sock in this hand for some reason.
They have a puppet show. I'm like, and you're watching them and you're like, it's not like they look like themselves. It's not like dramatic to the point where you're like, oh my God, what happened to them? But you're like, wow, they look good and they seem good. And then you like either talk to them or you see something they post and they're like, well, I gave up alcohol and I gave up carbs and I gave up fun and I gave up TV and I gave up, I gave up like milk from a cow or whatever. And they're like, I just exist now on like oat milk and raw oats that I lick off my counter, and you're like, okay, so like, no, not that. I don't want that. But I'm like, I have to like when I go 5+ days without drinking, I wait for the like euphoria to set in. I wait for the weight to drop right off.
I see even that sentence. I interpret it as you were waiting for the euphoria of the drink. Because that's when it's real good.
But
Wanna
then
have a beer? Do we have any beer here?
No, that's what I say.
Mike.
Now I'm like edging myself around alcohol because I'm like tonight, like tomorrow we're gonna go out, right? Tonight we don't have plans, and I'm like if I just stay dry one more night, tomorrow it's really gonna hit. Like, and I'm
Wouldn't
like,
drinking edging be like you drink a couple of O'Douls, you get the flavor, and then you have a little half a shot, and then you're like, ooh. Here.
I don't know. I'm just saying that like the longer I go without drinking, it's not like I go, you know what? I don't really need alcohol. I just like love working out. Like I just like that's my endorphins. I'm like, no, like I'm dying for it. Like I'm like, just one sip.
Right.
Right. So that's the problem.
They think agriculture was created. They, by the way, they. No, they think agriculture.
And 100% of testicles are plastic.
Plastic. Listen, if you don't, my nuts are like 2 Legos down there. Okay, they are just 100% plastic at this point. But they
it would
think
be funny if they were pointy.
Pointy nuts. So one problem I don't have. They're flat. So they're like 2 nickels made of plastic.
Ew.
By the way, one of my A jokes is about shaving my nuts, and I just always do it at Princeton, and it's getting to be where I'm too old to be doing that.
Agreed. You're a creep.
But they think that agriculture got invented to make fermented drinks.
Sure.
In other words, drinking predates farming? And you're telling me that people are like, you don't need it anymore. By the way, drinking down across the board in America. Everything except for tequila.
Yeah, but
is down. Did you know that? Beer, whiskey.
Yes, but it's been down since COVID. So during
during COVID is up.
I know. You freaking dingo. That's why it's all down now, because it was up during COVID. So now they're comparing to the last 5 years, and it's way down. Dumb.
COVID. Imagine I got the interview. Did you ever get the interview question? What did you do during COVID?
You remind me of a lollipop.
Why is that?
Dum dum.
Dum dum. Thank you. Wow. Clip it.
Stop putting your face on foreign objects. You're disgusting.
So
Ay.
They used to tell us like they're gonna ask you like what did you do during COVID, like in an interview.
What are you
when
talking
they were like
about?
gassing us up as salespeople who like weren't allowed to go in the field?
I've never been asked that question.
That's why I'm asking you.
No.
But
even by my own family, they didn't wonder where I was or what I was doing.
if they did ask me, I'd go, well,
they assumed I was at home.
First, we'd buy a bunch of ingredients to make pasta like from scratch. I'd get 3 bottles of Josh, 3 bottles. We drink one of them while we were cooking.
We did
one
not.
while we were eating.
First of all, you were not cooking anything.
I was hanging by the bar. You were cooking.
And we didn't like make.
We had a little window.
Scratch.
Yes, we did. Not the pasta, but the sauce, the accoutrements.
And again, you were not involved in that.
I was
Drinking. You were drinking.
What's the word when you just hang? You have
Drinking.
a glass, but you're around the stove.
Creeping.
Yeah, you're creeping around the stove. So we crush another bottle post dinner.
Easily.
Then you'd be like, well, I have to actually work tomorrow. So you'd like go to bed. I'd fire my online gambling ring, which involved New York City comedians and Dallas lawyers. And then I would play online poker and drink whiskey.
And some basketball people.
Oh, and some basketball people. And then I would play online poker and drink whiskey. And I would wake up in the morning at 2 in the afternoon.
Right. I was going to say, not until lunch.
And I would be like, oh, I won or lost $1,000.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so you and I did have each other, and also my job went remote. So I did actually have a job, like some semblance of work to do. But like when people are like talking about like the mental health crisis of COVID, and it's like, yeah, you think? Like, and at least in New York, you could, like, we would go out for a walk, even on my like most lonely of walks, I would maybe run into like 2 or 3 people who were like also doing the same thing I was doing, and you would get like a head nod or something, right? But I'm like, it's like people who were like on lockdown in like less, like less commutable areas or whatever, like they were just like alone for weeks, like weeks at a time. It's like actually kind of like,
it's effed up.
But it's like bizarre to even think about. Like you're like, not only are you not seeing, your coworkers or your neighbors, whatever, you're not seeing anyone.
Right, but this is my other theory that I've brought up here before. But the messing around, the goofing around, it's like stop goofing around, stop playing poker, pick up basketball, like all this stuff. That's actually the most important thing in life.
Goofing around.
Fucking around is good.
Yeah, I agree.
Get together. Get to it.
Stop squeaking. What are you squeaking?
Oh, I fixed our squeaky bed, by the way. Don't get any credit for that. That's when our life was pure hell, even more pure hell than it is now.
No.
We'd get in bed and we'd be like, eat any breath. And then I go, I'm going to fix this. And I did.
This is, you can even like cut this right out of the podcast. But I will say, like, we moved into this apartment, 4 years ago. And we really didn't have a lot of furniture. A lot of our old furniture was hand-me-downs, and like that was fine. But like even our old bed frame was actually like too big to move. Like we would have had to destroy it just to like glue it back together. It made no sense. So you and I like went to West Elm and we got some just like reasonable apartment furniture. And I have to say, like, whether we get new stuff for our current apartment or like future homes that we live in, I will never, ever, ever shop from West Elm again.
Wait, why are we cutting this? Because you're afraid of sponsorship backlash?
No, it's just boring. But I'm like, it's like some of the, like, it's not even like, oh, like that's not as high quality as I thought. It's truly trash. It's like as if I sent you down to the basement and was like, Noah, can you like glue together some 2x4s and like hope for the best?
I could. I'm very handy. I could build a bed.
I'm just saying I would have better luck with that like garage nonsense that like you could make than spending thousands of dollars on West Elm. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, the bed,
it's like the biggest. I think West Elm is like maybe a Ponzi scheme. I'm like, what are we going to reveal? Like, I just like, I'm like, every day I wake up and I'm like, this should be more comfortable. Like, this should be better. Like, we should at least get 10 years out of like a chair. A chair?
I think that they would argue that I'm not normal size, and
so then you should put that somewhere. Like, even that, I'm like, I don't really buy it because it's not even like high off the ground.
Oh yeah, so this brings me to another high off the ground object, which is known as
what?
A minivan. Which I have a new idea, which is buy a minivan. That's the whole idea. So
remember at the beginning of this episode when you were like,
we have nothing to talk about?
No, you were like, I'm so worried I'm boring now. And then you're like, anywho, been doing a lot of research on Odysseys.
Well, one time, this is about 10 years ago, I was hanging after a New York Comedy Club show with Carmen Lagala and like 2 other people I don't remember. And it was Carmen just in New York. And I kept like getting the attention on me out of like the 5 people at the table, and I would tell a story, and then 75% of the way in, I'd go, uh-oh, no point. And it kept, Andrew Collin was here, weirdly, who's our neighbor again. So it would bomb, and then I'd be like, fuck. And they became a bit like, okay, Noah. And then I kept being like, I have one that's related. I got one, and I would tell another one and bomb again, like post-show bomb. So here's what I want to tell you about the minivan.
Yes.
I went to sit in one secretly in the Bronx the other day. Did you know that?
Yes.
No.
I have a tracker on your car.
So so I go.
It's called an air tag.
I'm constantly disappointed by these car salesmen. I walk in like thirsty for a minivan. This is what the guy does. I park and I open the door and he's like, and I'm like, I want to see the Odyssey that I saw online on your website. Like, I want to sit in it. He goes, all right. Takes me to the minivan. Doesn't ask me one question. I sit in it. I'm actually like, this isn't that big. Like, I'm kind of disappointed with the seat.
What was the one that we rented that you liked?
Oh, the Sienna.
Oh, the Sienna. That was nice.
Oh, the luxury of a Sienna.
That's what Chris and Lizzie Wolf have, the Sienna.
The Sienna rules. Minivans rule. Why do they get labeled uncool?
Oh, I don't know. But my biggest complaint about the minivan is actually only related to the fact that we still live in the city. I think, like, when I was driving that, what was it, just a rental Sienna? What was it?
I think we've had, like, loaners. My car got crushed by a door.
Oh, that was so weird. It's just big. Like, to park it in the city is actually, it's like, compared to even like an SUV, it's like really long. So it's like hard to find. Like, I feel like even with the car we have now, if you have even like close to enough space, you can kind of make it work. But like a van, you need the space, and then you need the space to open the trunk. Like, it goes out.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So you need, like, if you're gonna like unload stuff, which is kind of like the whole point of having a minivan, then you actually need to like not have anyone behind you, and that's like almost impossible to do in the city.
Interesting.
But anyway, I've decided that I'm not getting involved in your stupid minivan like
why not?
side adventure. No, it's like if this movie is about my life, which of course it is, you're a side character. And
you have main character imposter syndrome yourself.
I don't have imposter syndrome.
Main character, is those two separate things?
God.
Main character syndrome?
Yeah.
I have Stockholm syndrome with you.
Yeah, you should. You have many syndromes.
Beat me with me.
What?
I said, beat me with me. That's what I said.
Are you okay?
No.
But so remember Charlie the Unicorn on YouTube?
Yes, because you made me watch it.
Right. So listen, you're off on your own magical adventure to like Candyland, where you're like, I'm gonna buy an Odyssey, and I'm like, no, you're not. But I'm like, there's no point in fighting you. I just let you run around and chase your tail for a little bit, and then you come back, and then what's really gonna happen is that we probably won't buy a minivan for at least a year or so, and that's fine. But in the meantime, you've spent a lot of time going to the Bronx and like walking around used car lots for no reason. And then you get mad at these sales guys when they don't like jump all over you.
Yeah.
However,
I'm ready to buy.
You're not.
Yes,
you're not ready to buy. They know that whenever they see a guy with a wedding ring not come with his wife, they go, I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah, but if they watched that crazy person, Chris Elliott, on Instagram, they would know how to close through the wife objection.
I'd like to remind you that at one point, you actually put a deposit down on a car in New Jersey, and I was like, over my dead body, and then you had to call the guy and be like, my wife's not happy.
Yeah, I go, can we go any lower on the price? He goes, please, sir.
So
he put his hand between his knees, his head between his knees, and he goes, please, sir, please.
So stop terrorizing these salespeople.
But he at least knew what sport meant. I didn't once I left the lot, but he was showing me shit. This guy didn't ask me one question. I go sit in the Odyssey, and then I go, it's actually too small for me, just because I wanted to big boy him a little bit because he was being such a dick. And he goes, too small? And I go, that's right, it's too small for me. And he's like, what do you mean too small? I'm like, you didn't ask me any questions. You don't know what I want. Out of there. I'm on a hit list now. I'm dead.
Oh, my God.
I am dead. D-E-D dead. What else you got? Any questions? Comments?
You'll be happy to know that I'm firmly implanted on the Jacksonville Jaguars mailing list. Can't get off that.
Why?
I get emails from them every day. Every day. I don't know. I mean, I must have like bought something for Samantha at some point, and I'm like, unsubscribe.
The Raleigh Comedy Festival had me like that. I'm I'm like, did I get into the Raleigh Comedy Festival?
No, they're just sending you merch or whatever.
To go to it. Look who we got. Skippy McDougal and Oswange. You know, these one-name comedians.
Yeah, I love Oswange.
And you go, who?
And I'm buying tickets to Oswange.
You go, Jello Hat, headlining Sunday. You go,
oh my
what the fuck is Jello Hat?
Jello Hat's a good name, though.
You got into the festival, the Rogue.
Of Lights.
You got into the Rogue Island. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you have any bits?
No.
You want to run some bits?
No. No, thank you, though. I will say, just to my own horn today, I've brought my lunch like 3 or 4 times this week.
Yeah.
Man, that's doing wonders for the old superiority complex.
Good.
Okay?
Good job. You're saving a lot of money.
Everyone's coming in with their stupid plastic forks and their stupid, like, salty salads. Yeah. And I'm like, listen, I made this.
I used to go when I was really, really poor and really young and really stupid. We would go buy cold cuts and I would bring in 2 sandwiches to work.
Yeah.
And I hated these sandwiches so much. Why
didn't you just make a sandwich you liked?
So much effort. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't
sandwich?
Want to do it. Yeah. It was awful. And I would just be like begging, like, does anybody else want to just like not eat this and go?
Where were you when you found out that cold cuts just weren't that good for you?
It was like last year.
I remember being
I
like,
lost my taste for them, honestly.
Oh, now I can't do it. But I'm like, I remember whatever it was, like probably like around college age where someone was like, I mean, they're not like that healthy for you. And I was like, what's this now? I was like, a turkey sandwich, like turkey cheeser? Like, what are you talking about?
Like, what about this mayonnaise? Is this also...
But I'm like, they're like, well, you know, it's like processed meat and it's like high in sodium and also the slicers are disgusting and whatever. And I'm like, what? I really, like...
Yeah, sliced turkey was a healthy...
that was the way to go,
food.
Right? Like,
yes.
Also, like, you get it on whole wheat. Whole wheat.
Yeah.
Whole wheat is also a scam, but whatever.
Well, I did the abs diet in college.
Abs for back?
And I do abs for back now for my back.
Abs for back.
Yeah.
You should make like your own workout TikTok channel that's just abs for back.
Abs for back? I would just take what Brendan tells me and I would do it.
So do that.
I don't want to do that. I tried that with Get
Monetize
Ripped.
it. Monetize it.
I just write it off, Jerry.
Yeah.
They're terrorists, Jerry. Don't you picture that?
Wait, okay, so no one believed me, but I was like, I hate how, like, brands are, like, getting into tariffs just because people keep saying, like, tariff so much. And so, like, I've gotten, like, multiple stupid marketing things that are like, tariffs got you down. I'm like, no, stop. Like, that's not, it's so annoying.
We live in hell.
It's like, stop just saying the word tariff as if that's something.
Right, it's,
But then, like, people are making, like, you know, like higher level jokes about like the actual tariffs, but like people don't get it because they don't watch the news.
Yep.
So it's like you're stuck in the middle ground of hell where you're just like tariffs, and people are like totally.
I think I'm finally off my love affair with Instagram. By the way,
I think Instagram's gone. Like I don't know what's happening, but it's really bad.
The AI first of all, 80%, as you know, of my content is people like making muffins, but they're like.
Making muffins?
You know, like they're doing something else, but it's really about their boobs.
Sure. And they're now AI, so...
Oh, and I get the AI ones too. It's like reasons why Swedish women are awesome, and it's like really slow and weird, and I'm like, ugh. So then the new one I get, which is really awful, and it's like, it gets in your brain in a way that's like an earworm.
Sure.
It's animals with shit growing on them.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
people
the barnacles.
Coming to,
yeah.
And it's like a polar bear with pine cones growing out of its neck. Okay. It's like, there's something about the computer understanding there's something satisfying with the human brain that it's serving this shit up, and I loathe it. I'm like, get it.
Get thee gone, evil.
Get thee gone, evil.
I don't like.
Should we go to church? I got a church encounter today. I was walking by my parked car, and there are these children standing there outside the church today in Chelsea.
Children recruited you to church?
They were wearing like red outfits together. Like there was like 10 of them, and there was an adult. Ooh. And she goes, "Sir, can I offer you a prayer?" And I go for it. And I just kept walking. And then I realized she meant like stop and like participate.
No.
What? I thought she's like, "Can I pray for you?" Yeah. go.
You know how people are like, oh, like we send like thoughts and prayers for people like dealing with tragedies or whatever, and they're like, that's not enough. I'm like, for me, that's enough.
Oh, I say you better send some chicken parm along with that thought and prayer.
Yeah, but like thoughts and prayers, it doesn't have to be anything, really.
I don't even need
the thought. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, I don't even need that.
I think it's fine. I think it's enough. I think that like so often people are like, but what, like when the Los Angeles fires like literally devastated everyone and like burned down like so many homes, people are like, I'm gonna send clothes, and they were like, we don't need clothes, we actually need money, like we really need money, like urgently. And people are like, do you want these socks? Yeah. And it was like I read a really interesting article about it, but like there's some sort of like weird human impulse where we're like, I have to send stuff, and it's like, but they're literally asking for cash, like just give them cash.
Like a wedding gift.
Totally. People are like, oh, you're just gonna love this blanket. You're like, I just big gifts too, but people like think it's like nice to send like some sort of unique thing for your child.
You know, I just give them 12 weeks, 12 hours by 12 weeks.
I know, but like
baby gifts.
I'm just saying, like, we have 2 kids. 2. Guess how many baby blankets I have?
9.
22.
No.
Oh yeah.
Sell them on eBay.
No, you can't, because then it's such a weird thing to like offload, because you're like, oh, it's like weirdly sentimental, but it's like not. Yeah. Because the baby's too small to have an attachment to it. Yeah. It's very weird. Anyway, I have so many, and I'm like, what do I do with this? So anyway, I built Henry a cool spaceship.
You want to do any affirmations or goals? You have any goals for this spring or summer?
Stay alive.
Stay alive, I'll find you. What movie? Last of the Mohicans.
I had never seen that.
Played by Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh.
Native American. Yikes.
Well, is that the same as Indian in the Cupboard?
No, but there was part of that whole 90s, like what about Native Americans?
Yeah.
What about them?
I do remember watching Indian in the Cupboard.
Yeah.
Which was weird. And also, like, wasn't at some point there's like a dead soldier in there?
Yeah.
It's dark.
I think it was a good way to learn about colonialism and also furniture.
And what was the lesson of that book, Noah?
It was, don't look in there. Don't close the door. I heard it as, don't think about that ugly history. Click. Yikes.
Yeah. Keep it covering it up.
Yikes. We do have some road gigs coming up. We got a plug. Pretending. No, we do. Casino gig. Wilkes-Barre. I've heard it's pronounced Pennsylvania. May 16th and 17th. Me. And then this summer, July 16th, 17th in Providence. Me and you together.
Yeah, and then I'll be in Newport.
In May.
And
I got a Princeton show May 6th where I can yell at those kids. No, for the last 5 years have not thought I'm funny.
Right.
What should I talk about from the last 2 minutes? What should I talk about with college kids?
You need to stop doing college gigs. You're 40.
I'm only 39.
Right.
And I don't look a day over 39.
Yikes. You got to like move on. Let someone else do it.
Move on with your life. I'm bringing young people, I think. It's really hard.
But young to you is like 34.
I know. I bring people that I think are the young comics who are going to be young with them, and then they go, geez, everybody here's so young. And I go, no.
Yeah, because young to you is like 34, and then the kids in college are like 14 years younger than that.
The kids that I coached when I was in college who were in middle school are now 31.
Right.
I saw them up at the Ivy League tournament, and I was like, what are you up to? And one kid is like, I'm a doctor now. And I was like a resident? And he's like, no, like a real doctor. I was like,
it's sick. When I think about that, like kids that I babysat and how old they are now, I feel like really, like it feels like time is like a smushy pile of like nothing.
Shit.
It's just like a, what is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because how could I have possibly been in charge of your well-being when I was 13, but now you're 34?
Mm-hmm. You should watch Interstellar.
I don't want to.
If you like relativity and time.
I don't.
We'll get everybody sound off on the count right now.
What? Okay, sound off on the comments right now if you think that Noah wore an acceptable outfit today.
Sometimes I just want to make one plea to our super fans. Sometimes we get really long text or, inboxes. Throw it up on our comments. Start a conversation on the YouTube.
What?
10, 9.
I like the countdown clock.
I love the countdown clock. We should do it in our real lives. Wrap it up. Okay, people, subscribe, like, and
I
comment.
really am going to strangle you.
And comment on Alyssa. Love you. Bye.
Beep 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 beep.
Wow.
Beep 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 beep.
That's how you do it. That's